ControlNet 1.1 just launched proper. I made a preview video about ControlNet 1.1, but now they've updated the ControlNet extension and you can use it inside of Automatic with all of the features of Automatic plus all the new ControlNet features. All that and more on this episode of this. Okay, so we're in here in Stable Diffusion. The first thing we're going to test with ControlNet 1.1. Okay, so I'm going to use this image, which is actually an AI generated image, which is quite funny. Okay, so the one we're going to use is the Instruct Pix the Pix, which if you're familiar with Instruct Pix the Pix, then you should already know what that is. The ControlNet Instruct Pix the Pix allows you to take any Stable Diffusion model and turn it into a model that can edit things. Instead of just generating images, you're editing images. Traditionally with Instruct Pix the Pix, you can only use it with one model. This allows you to use it with every model, which is huge. I think this by itself is gigantic. So one of the things that Instruct Pix the Pix changes is how you prompt. Like typically you just list the things that you want, but with this you have to almost give a command. Make her muscular. So if I want to make her muscular, this is what you would type. IP2P. Select the IP2P there, and you'll get to see what this does. It generates this image, which is a muscular version of our character here, but it doesn't generate a new image like you would if you are familiar with image to image, which essentially just generates a new image. It takes this image and it edits it in a sense. You'll still notice that it doesn't exactly 100% look like her. What you can do is increase the weight of this and it will make it look more like the person that's underneath. So you'll see what this does here. Yeah, now you can see again what it does. Now you can understand what I mean when I say it allows you to use the model to edit an image, because it's like it takes this original image and it just only changes the parts of the image that are necessary in order to make the person look more muscular or those sorts of things. You can increase this even further again to make it look even more like the underlying person. Yeah, you can see what this does again here, right? So with this one, it's even less because the original person isn't overly muscular or anything. So it just very slightly changes the image. And this is the advantage. Before, you were locked down to just using one model. With this, you could use this with any model that exists. As I said, this could be a video by itself. Make her on fire. Takes her image and makes it more fiery. It doesn't just add fire to the image. It also changes her hair color to be red, since that will be more fiery. Also changes her clothes as well to be black, which I guess that's more fiery as well. You can increase the strength here, make it look more like the original image. And now you see again, now it doesn't change her as much, but it more just focuses on the fire thing. Her hair still has the gradient tone that it had before. Her outfit still changes color and stuff, but there's other stuff you can do as well. One of the things that you can do here is you can actually add in a LoRA. A LoRA is like a way of modifying how Stable Diffusion generates images and stuff. And with this particular LoRA that I made here, this is one that you can use for generating more retro type images. So what I'm gonna put here is make her 1980s, and you'll see what this does. Yeah, you can see how this adjusts her image, right? It takes her and it adjusts it in such a way as to now match up with the era. This is a LoRA here, right? So this is like an additional thing. So you can add in data to the thing and be able to adjust it with that. And I can do the same thing again where I increase it to make her look more like her original self. And now you can see it takes the original image and it adjusts it. It's interesting too, because in the original image, as I said, it's an AI generated image. Her arm is missing and it doesn't add an arm or anything. It just takes the image and it makes it now into a 1980s image. Yeah, you can see what a 1990s version of this thing looks like. You're not limited just to doing more realistic stuff. Like you can say, for example, make her Pixar. Yeah, you can see it generates the image and it does the same thing as before, but what you'll notice is her face changed a lot, because with the Pixar style, that's a big part of the Pixar style. So what you can actually do is you can come onto this section. I'm gonna talk about this later, but for right now I just want to show you how this would work. So I need to add her image to this one as well. So I just add her image to the second thing. Open pose face. What this is gonna do is combine the instruction that we have, plus it's gonna combine something else, and I'll show you that in a second here. All right, so now you can see what it does. It still makes her look like Pixar, like the style, but because it generated this additional thing. So this additional thing that I added looks at the face mostly. It also gives you the body as well, but it looks at the face most. So what it does now is it generates the image based on the instruction to make her look Pixar, but it also takes into consideration the shape of her face. So ultimately, you end up with what is the most Pixar you can make her look while still maintaining the structure of the face. So you don't end up with the more exaggerated version. it looks more like a muted version. Okay, another one that they added was anime line art. You can kind of use this to essentially recolor an anime image. So I can show you what that does. You look at this image that I have at the beginning, and I can say, for example, what, blonde hair and red dress. And you'll see what this does when I generate the image. Yeah, and you can see the image again that gets generated. You can see that it takes this initial image and generates a person now. Change her hair color. It changed the suit color. You can also use this with images that don't have any color and stuff here. For example, I can take an image like this one. Blonde hair, what? Red jacket. So this is just an image. This has no color or anything. And what? Cargo pants, brown pants. And now I can generate this now, and you can see what it does. It takes her thing and it colors it in now. For some reason, it thinks she has a mask or something here. But like, yeah, you can see what it ends up doing there. Yeah, another thing they added is the pose thing. I showed this earlier partially, but what this does is it takes the pose of the image along with the face and the hands and stuff, and it uses that to guide the generation process. So I can say something like, say, take this image from earlier and say like, it's like Emma Watson standing. Yeah, and by doing that, you get an image here and you can see Emma Watson standing. She has the pose of the person in the video. Another thing you can do as well, if you want her to look even more like this person, you can add another layer to this here, and I can add, say, like Canny. So Canny is similar to the line thing that we did earlier, but it's a different way of coming to the lines. And if I generate the image again, what you'll see now is I'll get the same Emma Watson standing, but it will also be informed by the lines of the image. So now you have the image of Emma Watson with the pose of the person. The shape of her thing also lines up more so the shape of the person in the image. This could work with anything. So I could say like what, Gal Gadot, for example. And you can see here the same thing again where you get, oh, I didn't even show you the pose from the last one. So what it generates is this. It gives you the face, the same thing from earlier, but also gives you this map. And it uses those two things, combines both of them, and it tries to generate an image using both of those to guide the generation. So that's how you end up with something that has the shape of the person and the pose of the person as well. Another feature they added was a shuffle feature that effectively takes the image and generates like this rearranged version of the image. I actually don't exactly understand when you would want to use this. I talked about this in the preview video as not being sure when you would want to use this, but I also still not sure when you would want to use this, but I'm still going to show it anyway so you can see what it does. Yeah, so I'm just going to match up the stuff from this image to like Emma Watson, kimono, bent over, one eye closed, because that's the description of this image. And I'm going to generate an image and you'll see what it does. It takes the image and shuffles it around like this, and it uses this to then generate this image. Honestly, I don't really understand why you would want to use this. Clearly, there's something that I'm missing here. It does kind of take the style from the image, but the thing about that is they already have something that does that, and I think it does it better. Let me show you what that is actually. So I have the style one enabled now. Yeah, you can see what this ends up doing, right? It generates an image that takes the style in a way that more captures the thing of the image. So I don't know what that other thing is, because this is way better at doing that. They already have this here. So I just don't know what it's supposed to be used for. More interesting things you can do is you can take the style of this image, and then I can say, for example, I can take the pose now from this image. So I take the style from this image and I take the pose from this image, and then I generate here. Yeah, and you can see what this does. It has the style from image 1, the pose from image 2, combined together, and it creates a new image now that is better than both of them individually. And this is what ControlNet really allows you to do. Now it's expanding, adding in all these new tools. I think that especially the instruct picks the picks thing, I think that's the best of all of the stuff they added in here. So that allows for a lot of interesting, simple use cases, and more complicated as well. I think there's some stuff they can do to make it better. It's in beta, so it's not 100%, you know, I think I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video. It's in beta, it's not 100% out, but you can go try it, use it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the content, and watch the other videos.